Good morning, everybody, on this Thursday, December 10th. It is just after 8 o'clock in the morning. I am working. I did a Google search on what does it cost to replace a septic tank. Found out that a house with 3 to 4 bedrooms should have 1,250 gallon tank. A house with 4 to 5 bedrooms, which is what I'd really call this house, should have a 1,500 gallon tank. Our house has a 500 gallon tank. So I'm pretty certain that we're probably going to have to replace our septic tank. Not really something that I had planned to do at all. So anyhow, the guys for that should be out sometime between 9:30 and 10. The lady told me, I'm guessing around 10. The lady told me that they have a internal meeting on Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. and then they'd be coming this way afterwards. We're only about 10 to 15 minutes from the place I called. I honestly don't remember the place I called. I don't even remember the name of it. I don't. It's somewhere near us that had a, it had an 800 number. So I assumed that it was, a bigger company. So the reason why I went that way is because I figured that they had more customers, more experience. Like they could do more in the way of I don't even remember who I called, but more in the way of like determining the cause fairly quickly. Maybe that's naive of me. I don't know. We did not call the people who have been pumping the tank here for years. We actually have the receipts for that, and that they have been pumping the tank here for years, because if they've been pumping the tank here for years and there's something wrong with it, and they supposedly just pumped it in, okay, I found the place. I still have the tab open on my iPad. Supposedly they pumped it in April of this year. So if they pumped it in April of this year and didn't identify that there was an issue with it, now granted, to be fair, there might not be an issue with the tank. It might just be that we have too much water running through it because there's, all of us living here now. Previously, there were only 2 people, maybe 3. There were the elderly couple that owned the house, and then they rented out the apartment to people from their church. My understanding, because they went to my in-laws church, my understanding is that they would rent out that apartment to excuse me. I love winter, don't you? I always get like congestion during winter. But they would rent out their apartment to people from the church who didn't necessarily need nursing care. Like, they didn't need to be in nursing homes, but they needed to not be living alone either. So like John's one set of grandparents moved into assisted living. They had an apartment, a full apartment with kitchen, everything, right? And they had a pull strings throughout the apartment, where if they had a fall or some sort of emergency, they could pull a string and a nurse would come. But day in and day out, they didn't actually have any nursing care. There was they had the kitchen, but then there was also like a cafeteria where you could go and like purchase a meal if you wanted to eat with like others and not just in your apartment. So that's kind of like an assisted living, because it wasn't like full-blown nursing care, but they also didn't live alone, if that makes sense, because John's grandmother was having strokes at the end of her life. And she would have instances where she would go to like boil a pot of water to make a cup of tea, and she would forget, and the water would boil completely out, and then the pot would be sitting there, or the kettle would be sitting there on the stove top. You know what I mean? So just things like that where it wasn't necessarily safe. So that's why they moved into the assisted living until my grandfather-in-law passed away. And then my grandmother-in-law moved out and stayed with 3 of the sisters. Live relatively close. My mother-in-law lives here in town. Her one sister lives about 10 minutes away, and then the other sister lives about 40 minutes away. There were 5 kids. The two of them moved. One moved to Utah and one moved to California, but the 3 of them still live relatively closely here. So their mother, my grandmother-in-law, would spend a couple of days in each person's house. John's 2 aunts didn't work, so the one aunt didn't work, so she would stay Monday through Friday with the one aunt, and then spend one day with the other aunt, and then my mother-in-law the final day for the 7 days. So it would give the one sister a break on the weekends. But anyway, that's what they did with the apartment. They would rent it out to people from the church after their mother died. But they would rent it out to people from the church who needed just a little bit of something, didn't want to be completely alone, but didn't need nursing care, if that makes sense. So that's what they did. So they only had pretty much 3 older people living in the house before. And then the wife passed away in January and the husband passed away in April. I don't know when the last time they had a tenant was, but I don't know. But long story short, my septic tank apparently is less than half the size it should be. I think it's probably a third of the size it should be. I think we should probably have a 1,500 gallon tank. So I'm concerned about that. Yeah. So we'll see in about an hour and a half. We'll see what they say. Yeah. Hopefully it's not too incredibly expensive. But it's not something that we can put off either. We have to do it. So anyway, good morning. Not what I wanted to start my day off with, but I'm pretty sure that that's going to be the outcome. But on one hand, it would be a brand new tank, and we would know that it'd be good, and we would know that it would last, another 40 years. And that's what the one other house that we were looking at had septic issues. And that was one of the things that John said. He was like, we replace it. It's brand new. We know it's brand new. We know that it's going to work for the next 30, 40 years. And, that's good. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get back to work and cross my fingers and hope that it's not as terrible as I'm thinking it's going to be. But we'll see. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Well, you guys, it's 11 o'clock. And I had to pull myself together. That water is definitely coming from the septic. And there's one thing that they can try to do. Apparently their diagnosis is that somewhere in the system there is a clog. They can't really tell us where until they start digging up things, which is fantastic. But somewhere in the system there is a clog in the system. So they said that they could come out probably next week and try to identify where the clog is and get all the sludge out. I mean, this house is from 1964, and I don't know that it was ever replaced or fixed. And if that's the original septic system for this house, it is 56 years old. So, they're gonna call me and schedule that for next week to come out and pump everything from the tank and then pump the different portions of the system until they can identify where the clog is. And if that doesn't work, it's going to need to be replaced. And you know, you Google how much does it cost to do a septic system replacement, right? So I looked that up. Here, I'll show you. How much is it to replace a septic system? So if you're just doing a tank, it's that much, with that being the total estimate, right? For a 1,250 gallon tank. My tank is 500 gallons. They're saying a new system is that much. This guy was like, well, in this area, it's probably 3 times that much. I don't know how it's so much more expensive here. There's this other website here. The average septic system replacement cost ranges from $6,000 to $50,000. And that's pretty much what they said. It was going to be between $30,000 and $40,000. So if I can ask for a favor, if you all can just send me some good vibes. I know I ask for this a lot. We're gonna go with the, he gave me 2 options, the replacement obviously. Which is, I don't even have anywhere near that kind of money. The other option is to have them come out and try to determine where the blockage is in the system. And they're gonna do that. And that's, he said that was about $3,000 to clean out every part of the system, 3 to 5 depending on how far down the system they need to go, and clean out every single part of the system to find where the blockage is. So good vibes that the cleaning portion that we're gonna have done maybe next week or the week after fixes the problem, because I don't have $30,000 to $40,000 to replace a septic system. And he can't even tell me how much it's really going to be, because the township has to send somebody out and do an evaluation and do a environmental study. And just that evaluation takes 30 days. And that evaluation by itself costs $5,000 that I have to pay to the township. And then they will dictate what system can be put in. So, yeah. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you. I don't know what I'm gonna have to do. I don't know what I'm gonna do if I have to replace the system. I don't have that kind of money. And now knowing that I'm not gonna get any money out of my old house at all, I might have to pay money to get rid of it. Yeah. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So, anyway, I'm gonna pull myself together even more. And I'm gonna pray that the cleaning option works. Alright. Alright, you guys, I have pulled myself together quite significantly since the last time you talked to me. Or I talked to you. Or we talked. We had some more bad news though, as the day has progressed, so that sucks. John's tractor showed up. And the guy almost couldn't get it off the truck. He got it off the truck. And then Neil took all of the crate off of it. So it was like ensconced in a crate, right? So Neil got the crate off. It was still on the flat. And we went over to the old house today and filled up the truck and got pretty much everything out of the basement. I mean, you'd agree with that, right? I mean, there's like a couple of little odds and ends just laying around, but it's pretty much done. Now it's all in the garage, and the main floor, there's the sofa, John's ladders, and like there's some stuff on the counter and stuff like that, but it's not even a car full, let alone a truck full, because there's some garbage and stuff. Literally everything that's in the house could fit in the garage and still have space. So we got that done. We came home. Meanwhile, I had thrown a roast in the oven to cook so we could have dinner then when we got back. And we got back and it was almost dark. I mean, it was just about dark. And John was trying to get it off of the skid. First thing he noticed was that the one tire was completely flat. And it wasn't flat like as of this afternoon flat. It had been flat for a while because the tire was actually miscolored from the wood. I'll show it to you. I took some pictures. John took some pictures too. But like, whoops. That is the tire. And I think you guys can see like that. Gosh darn it. I'm taking pictures of recipes that I want to try out. Okay. There it is. And you can see like on the bottom portion there that it's like miscolored, right? Right in here. It's miscolored. So that had to have been flat for a while. And you can see that it's completely off the rim. And it's just not good at all. So it's been flat for a while. Like that's not new. That's another recipe. I I don't even know that wheel or the wheel, number one. Do you think the wheel's damaged?
Possibly.
So I don't know. So that's a mess. And then John was having troubles getting something else. Oh, here it is in the crate. Let's see if I can bring it up for you guys. So that's what it looked like in the crate. So you could see that it was, I mean, it wasn't like the most sturdy thing in the world, right? There it was on the truck. Like, it barely fit in the truck. Barely fit in the truck. So, anyway, long story short, we're a little concerned. Here it is when Neil got it pulled out of the cardboard. Or not the cardboard, the wood. That's what it looks like when it was still on the skid.
That's still pretty.
Yeah, it's still pretty right now, babe.
I know.
But, that wheel's all messed up. And then the rollover bar that you can't really see, it's like bent down behind the tractor.
And that's the way it's supposed to be.
And it is. And John was just having troubles getting that up too. And then you couldn't get it down, the deck to go down too, right? Or didn't you try to do that?
I tried a little bit, but again, it was a little dark,
So it was dark, and I mean, the biggest problem is that wheel. The wheel's all messed up. So, did you send a...
I followed their instructions
Uh-huh.
right now. I told them that if they can't respond or won't respond, I will be following up with a product review.
So yeah, John sent them a message. Did you tell them that the wheel was messed up?
Yes.
So...
And I wasn't sure about what else was messed up. And I asked them what they were planning on doing and making it right.
Yeah. So there is a Cub Cadet, it's a Cub Cadet. There is a Cub Cadet authorized service location that's actually in our town, which is amazing. There are 2 stores within 15 miles of us. One that's in our town and the other one that's like 10 or 15 minutes away. Which is great. I mean, that's fantastic that it's this close. Why is that taking so long to process? That's your computer. It is my computer. My computer stinks. So I don't know what they're going to say. I don't know what their response is going to be, but I'm very disappointed because that tractor is not cheap. We got John he picked out a commercial, right?
It is labeled a commercial mower.
It's a commercial mower because we figure we've got 5.5 acres and it's not all flat, and it's going to be worked. I mean, that tractor is going to be worked on 5.5 acres. Now I think only like 3 of them is grass, like 3.5 is grass, about an acre and a half is trees. So it's not all grass, but it's a lot of grass. And even if John just does this front half of the yard that's like all grass with that tractor, and with his big diesel tractor do the back half,
That's taking a while.
it's still gonna take forever. And we're gonna bring the old tractor from the old house over. We haven't done that yet, but we're gonna have 3 lawnmowers basically.
For a little while.
The big green tractor, what do you call? Do you just call it Greenie?
Yep.
Greenie, as John likes to call it. That one he is going to use like as a tractor, not just a lawnmower. The other 2 are lawnmowers. Now it does have a mower deck. Greenie does have a mower deck. But it's not like the primary usage for John. The primary usage for that is to plow the driveway and
Haul logs and
yeah,
pull out, help try to knock down trees and
Yeah.
other shit.
yeah. That's like his heavy duty yeah. Anyway, this lawnmower is supposed to be able to make him be able to mow, this front 2 or so acres relatively quickly.
And if I want to try and mow part of the back that's grassy,
Yeah.
it'll help.
Yes. So, anyway, long story short, I'm very disappointed. John is taking a half day tomorrow, and he will, because he's getting his cover on the back of his truck, his bed of his truck tomorrow. Now he has to leave here by about 1:30. You said you had to be there at 2?
It's supposed to be there at 2:30. They wouldn't mind if I came a little early, from what I understand.
Okay, so if he leaves here at 1:30, he'll be there a little bit early for a 2:30 appointment. So if he leaves here at 1:30, he'll be there a little bit early. And he gets off at 11, which means John's going to not leave there until probably 11:30, because that's John. So he'll be back here by about 12, which gives him an hour and a half to try to figure out something to do with that tractor. Are you going to look for the air pump, or are you just going to wait till you hear back from Home Depot?
Well, if you don't get if the message is tied to our Home Depot account, so if you don't hear anything, I'm going to assume that I need to leave a product review. And while I'm waiting down with the truck, for the truck getting done, I'm going to handle my business there.
Yeah.
And then the bottom line is that my goal will be to just, I mean, no offense, it's just, I understand that, it's all probability it is the shipper. But the problem is that I cannot really evaluate the product appropriately because of the shipper. So if they get a bad review, that's not really my problem.
Right.
So.
And then we got a call back from the plumbing or the septic people, and they said minimum $1,700. Minimum.
Let's hope so.
So basically what it is with the septic is it's a 56-year-old system. And typically what you have to do is you have to clean out the tank. You don't have to clean the whole system. Like the township requires you to get the tank cleaned, etc. There's no requirement to get the whole system cleaned. So their prognosis, or what they believe is going on, I don't remember if I told you guys this afternoon because I was really upset when I was talking to you this afternoon or this morning. Their prognosis is somewhere in the system there is residue that is clogging the system, basically. And they have to get into the system and clean it out.
Really clean.
Really clean it. Like clean the whole system, not just the tank. And then they're going to give us treatment stuff that we are supposed to put in there weekly. And they're going to come out in 6 months and do a follow-up to see if that treatment is sufficient. Cheapest is $1,700. If that's not looking like it's going to do it, because they're going to flush water through it to see if it's working. If that doesn't look like it's going to do it, they have to do a second step, which jacks the price up to $4,600. Which starts to make my heart race. But in theory, they do that, and in 6 to 12 months, the system will be working again. We do have to put that weekly treatment in every single week because it's going to be a chemical or bacteria or something to like help balance out everything that's in there to make sure that it's working appropriately and it's, minimizing the backups or whatever's going on, right?
I honestly have a bad feeling that it has something to do with Nick's toilet constantly running.
I don't think so.
Well, maybe that's just me being wishful thinking.
So, anyway, if the $4,600 investment does not work and they come out 6 months from now and they look at it and they say it's just as bad as it was 6 months ago, then our only option is to replace the whole septic system. and I don't have that kind of money.
No, but, well, I mean, we don't,
I don't have that kind of money, and I don't know how I'm going to come up with it. I honestly have no idea how I'm going to come up with it. I have no idea. I can't save that much money to put towards it in
4 weeks.
no, I mean, like, to save that kind of money, I would literally have to spend no money at all, save every penny, never go out to eat, and maybe in 5 years we'd be able to save that kind of money. Maybe. If we're lucky.
Maybe.
Maybe. So I don't know what we're going to do. So if you're the praying type, pray to God that this works. So anyway, my camera's going to shut off. Hold on 1 second.
The guy said it worked.
I've been so chatty.
The guy said it worked for him, and he had a similar system.
Yes. This guy said that our system is, from what he can tell, identical to the system at his house. And it took him a year, but he said it took him a year and he was able to get it back to being a healthy system. But that's somebody who
Knows what they're doing.
is certified to do this job and knows what he's doing. We're just dumb people who never had a septic tank to take care of before.
Yeah.
So
Apparently, the single line way, though,
mm-hmm.
apparently there's just one single line that's supposed to go out, the drainage line.
Yes.
And that's what we hit into.
Yes.
So I guess we're going to have to pre-bury that. There's no way it should be sticking out of the ground like that.
It's supposed to be buried. It's not buried because of all the stuff coming out of it. When I pointed out that there was rubber there, they were like, oh, so there's been issues with this before. That was the first thing they said as soon as I said, but there's rubber there.
So this thing actually needs reburied.
I don't know. Anyway, I have been chatting way too much today. This vlog is probably pushing a half an hour at this point. So,
What?
yeah. Probably
This is
over half an hour.
Highly watchable.
I just...
Dramatic.
It's been a day. John's tractor is sitting out in the grass because we couldn't move it with the flat tire. Hopefully no one in the middle of the night decides to show up on our property and steal his very expensive brand new lawnmower. I can only hope that it's there in the morning. But what are you going to do? So.
I mean, you would need a tow truck.
Yeah.
It's not like I picked it up.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally picked it up off the skid and moved it.
Yeah, to get it off the skid, John had to lift it up over, what, at least 2 pieces of wood. Was it 2 or 3? At least 2.
3.
So.
Because I quit after the second one, and you were like, you got one more.
Yeah. Alright, that's going to be it today. Today, I am thankful. It's hard to find things that I'm thankful for today because it's been such a crap day. Today, I am thankful that we were able to get the people out to diagnose the fact that it is, in fact, the septic tank that I'm thankful for, because we could have ignored it and it could have gotten worse and worse and worse, and we could end up having an entire cesspool in our backyard. I asked the guy when he called back with an estimate. I was like, so is there anything we should be doing? Is there anything that we could do? Because they're not going to be able to get here for about 10 days. I was like, is there anything we can do? They were like, no. No. I'm going to start crying again. Alright. I hope today was better than yesterday, and I really, really hope tomorrow will be just a little bit better than today. I hope y'all are having a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. John said my horoscope says I'm coming into money. I said, are you sure it didn't say you're going to be spending a lot of money? Neil bought me a lottery ticket for tomorrow night. Maybe I'll win Mega Millions tomorrow.
There you go.
All right.
Are we keeping the house?
Yeah.
Oh.
I like this house. I'm probably still sell the old house, but I like this house. I don't need to win the jackpot, but second place is nice. That's $1 million.
There you go.
If we won second place, we'd pay off the house, replace the septic tank, because we'd have the money to do it. Pay off the house, replace the septic tank, pay off your truck, pay off my car. My car doesn't have much left on it. And then you could quit work and be a farmer. I'd still have to work. $1 million would not be enough if we paid off all that stuff to retire on, but I'd still have to work.
I
But
think you'd be unhappy with that idea. I think we'd have to come up with some better deal.
I'm okay with the job I'm doing now. It's boring, but I'm okay with it. Alright, I'll just keep on talking. So, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.